Hello guys, welcome back. So let's start with a new topic, that is arteries and veins of the upper limb. So first let's know about the arterial supply. For knowing the arterial supply, we should start with the arc of aorta. So as we've previously also done the arc of aorta while we were doing circle of Willis. So let's revise it once again. It's present at T4 vertebrae that you have to remember. So you have your aorta coming out from the left ventricle, right? It's the main vessel which pumps blood out of the heart to your body. Okay, so this part which you see, this is the ascending aorta. Aorta is divided into three main parts: the ascending aorta, the arc of aorta, and the descending aorta. So this is the this is the ascending aorta. Then comes the arc of aorta, where all these branches are coming out. Then you have this descending aorta, which will go into your abdomen and give the arterial supply to the abdomen. Okay, so now let's see its branches. You're seeing this one trunk, right? This is called as brachiocephalic trunk. What it is? Brachiocephalic trunk. It was given such a name because brachium means arm, cephalic means head. So it will give the branches which will go to your arms and to your head. So this side branch which you see, this is called as right subclavian artery. What it is known as? Right subclavian artery. Okay, this will go into your upper limb. This is right common carotid artery. We have done what is common carotid, right? It will go and divide at the carotid triangle into external carotid artery and the internal carotid artery. Okay, so this is right common carotid. Then you have this, it is left common carotid. What it is? Left common carotid artery, which directly originates from the arc of aorta, you have to remember. And this is left subclavian artery, going to your left hand, left subclavian artery. That's all you have to remember about the aorta. You can write down, this is the ascending aorta if you want. Parts of aorta: ascending aorta, this blue color part, this green color is arc of aorta, and then this light pink or peach color, this is the descending aorta. Okay, so now starting with the subclavian artery first. So now this subclavian artery, it has got three divisions: first division, second division, and third division. What you have to remember is a mnemonic, that is vitamin C and D. Okay, VIT comes in first division, C comes in second division, and D will come in the third division. Now VIT, what does VIT stands for? So V stands for vertebral artery. Okay, V stands for vertebral artery. I stands for internal thoracic artery. What does it stand for? Internal thoracic artery. Now this artery is important because there is a question, and it is also known as internal mammary artery. Internal mammary artery. You have your sternum, right? We have already learned about the lines. We have this parasternal line. Okay, so this artery runs parallel. You have to remember that this internal thoracic artery, it runs parallel to the sternum. So they will give you such a question: name the artery which runs parallel to the sternum or is few centimeters away from the sternum, running parallelly or through the mammary gland. So this artery which they are talking about, you have to know that it is internal thoracic artery, which is also known as internal mammary artery. So write it down. Passes parallel to sternum. Remember this point, okay? Then the T stands for thyrocervical trunk. Stands for thyrocervical trunk. Thyro means your thyroid part, cervical means your neck part, the posterior neck part, okay? So thyrocervical trunk, and it is having two branches, the left and right branches. That's all you have to remember for the first division. For the second division, you have to remember the C, right? So it is costocervical trunk. What it is? Costocervical trunk. Costa means rib. Cervical, I've already mentioned that cervix means at your neck. In female, cervix is related to reproductive system as well. But now we're talking about upper limb, so you must remember that the cervical on the upper body part is always your neck part. Okay. Third is stands for D, which is dorsoscapular artery. So dorsoscapular means what? It will supply the dorsal part of the scapula. Okay. So that's it for the subclavian artery. Now you have to remember the subclavian artery will turn into axillary artery. What it will turn into? Axillary artery. So second artery is axillary artery. Now if they ask you the location, then you must know first of all that it is located where first rib attaches to clavicle. Okay, you have to know it. And the second thing that you must know, that it is deep to pectoralis minor muscle. Okay, it is deep to pectoralis minor muscle, and because it is deep to pectoralis minor muscle, it is again having three branches, three divisions: the first, the second, and the third. Okay, and this pectoralis minor helps in giving this division. So starting first, let's do the third division first. It's an important one which you have to remember. It gives you anterior and posterior circumflex humeral artery. We have done this when we were doing humerus. These arteries are present right at the surgical neck of the humerus. So any fracture of the humerus at the surgical neck will cause disturbance or damage to this artery. And second is subscapular artery. What is subscapular artery? Now you must know this subscapular artery, it is the largest branch among all. It is the largest branch among all. Okay, you must know this point. First and second, just so you know, I am writing. The first is suprathoracic artery. Okay, and in the second branch comes, second division comes the thoracoacromial and lateral thoracic artery. Okay, so but which one you have to remember? The main is here third branch. Okay, remember that third division for sure for axillary. Now this axillary artery once passes the lower border of the teres major, we call this artery as your brachial artery. What do we call it as? Your brachial artery. So starting with the third, that is your brachial artery. So what was the location? I said you that it is present at the middle of arm and starts at lower border of teres major. Okay, now let's know about the branch. So it was going down. Okay, so suppose this is the brachial artery which was going down. It gives off a branch, and that branch is called as which? Profunda brachii. Again, we have done this when we were doing humerus. It is present in your radial or the spiral groove, right? This is profunda brachii. This is brachial artery. Now it gives two branches. It will come into the cubital fossa. Okay, suppose this is the cubital fossa. It will come over there and divide into two. So this is cubital fossa. Here it will divide into ulnar artery and radial artery. Ulnar and radial artery. Okay, this ulnar artery supplies your forearm, and this ulnar artery will give something. And this artery, now I'll use the different color. Ulnar artery which is giving, it gives, this is common interosseous artery. It is common interosseous artery. Now this common interosseous artery has two branches. Okay, so this is the anterior interosseous artery and this is the posterior interosseous artery. You have to know. Okay, and remember this ulnar artery and radial artery together forms arcs. Okay, so they will anastomose at your palm part, and this anastomose is called as superficial and deep palmar arcs. Okay, so how to write these things down? So let's write it over here. That was the diagram view. Now let's write the summary. Okay, so ulnar artery supplies your forearm. Okay, radial artery supplies your hands, or you can say palms. Okay, and you have to know that ulnar artery gave the common interosseous artery. Okay, CIA is common interosseous artery. Radial and ulnar artery together forms superficial and deep palmar arcs. Okay, so this was all about the arteries. So let's know the artery in the pictures. Okay, so you can see this is the arc of aorta. Okay, this is one branch. This is the brachiocephalic trunk. Okay, coming out here is the subclavian artery. What it is? This is your subclavian artery. So subclavian artery becomes your axillary artery. So this which you're seeing at the axilla portion is your axillary artery. So this axillary artery then becomes your which artery? Brachial artery. At the humeral surgical neck of the humerus, you can see this, right? This is the anterior circumflex humeral artery, and on the back side you will have the posterior circumflex humeral artery. Okay, so this is the brachial artery. Now this brachial artery goes down in the cubital fossa, and then it will give you this artery. So this is your thumb. So thumb side we have which artery? We have the radial artery, and on the medial side we have this as ulnar artery. Now this radial artery and ulnar artery, you can see they are forming this arc. Okay, so this is called as palmar arcs. Okay, so write this as palmar arc, and you can also see this artery in between, right? So this is giving off the branch, is coming through the ulnar artery. So this was common interosseous artery given by ulnar artery. Okay, so I hope the arteries are clear now. So arterial supply is done. Now let's move on with the venous supply. So for the venous supply, first of all you should know there are two veins, superficial veins and the deep veins. Okay, so we will be learning in detail about the superficial vein, and we are not learning about the deep vein because deep veins runs along with the arteries. So they run along with arteries, therefore they have the same name. So we have done the arteries in the previous slide. So you have brachial artery, so you have brachial vein as well. You have radial artery, radial vein as well. Okay, so they run parallel to each other. First of all, superficial veins will be doing it in detail right now. I've drawn a very simplified version, but before starting with the vein, you must know what is a vein. Vein is a vessel which carries blood towards the heart, from your body to your heart. It is carrying deoxygenated blood. Okay. So now let's start with the venous supply of our hand. We'll start with the most distal part of our hand, then go into the heart. Okay. So the most distal part of our hand is what? It is digits. What are those? These are fingers. Okay. So this which you see over here, this brown color, that are the digital veins. Okay. So digital veins, first write down the sides, lateral side and the medial side of the hand. So digital veins on the lateral side will give you a vein which is called as basilic vein. Okay. And on the medial side, it will give you cephalic vein. And in between, you can see these. These are the palmar veins. Which veins? Palmar veins. Now, these palmar veins, you can see, they are merging together to form a vein which is median antebrachial vein. Median antebrachial vein. Okay. Now, you should know this antebrachial vein, it drains into basilic vein or it will drain into median cubital vein. Now, I have shown that it drains into median cubital vein. So, this peach color vein which I have drawn, peach color, this is the median cubital vein. Now, you should know something about this median cubital vein as well, that it is present at the it is present at the cubital fossa. Okay, we will be doing cubital fossa in a separate video, so don't worry. And you should also know that it is a place where basilic and cephalic vein will connect. And cephalic veins interconnect. Okay, and there is something special about this basilic vein which is present on the lateral side. It drains 1/3 of its blood into the cephalic vein. So write down, it drains 1/3 of blood into which vein? Into cephalic vein. Okay. Now this basilic vein and cephalic vein together will drain into axillary vein. Which vein? Into axillary vein. Now, axillary vein will give some of its blood into the subclavian vein and some to the internal jugular vein. Okay. Now, the subclavian vein and internal jugular vein together will drain into brachiocephalic vein. So, you have left and right brachiocephalic vein. So, coming from the left hand will go into the left brachiocephalic, right hand, right brachiocephalic. So, these two veins which you see over here of light green color is the brachiocephalic vein. Brachiocephalic vein, as you can see, opens into the superior vena cava, and the superior vena cava will then open into the right atrium. Now, for the superior vena cava, you should know that it is present at first costal cartilage, at the level of first costal cartilage. And about the right atrium, you must know that it is present at the level of third costal cartilage. At third costal cartilage. Okay. So, a quick revision. Palmar veins together will merge to form the median antebrachial vein, which will drain either into the basilic vein or median cubital vein. Here I have shown that it drains into the median cubital vein. Now, what is median cubital vein? It's present at the cubital fossa, and it is a place or a vein which connects basilic and the cephalic veins. Okay, these digital veins will form the lateral side basilic vein, and on the medial side they will form the cephalic vein. This basilic vein and cephalic vein together will drain into the axillary vein, and from the axillary vein, some blood goes into the subclavian vein and internal jugular vein. Then they further both will drain into the brachiocephalic vein. The left and right brachiocephalic vein will then drain into superior vena cava, which will open into your right atrium. Okay, so this was all about the superficial blood supply of our hand. Okay, there is something special about the deep veins that you must know. Okay, there is something called as vena comitans. Should know that, vena comitantes. Okay, so it is present in deep vein. What happens is you have this brachial artery, right? So as I said, deep veins have the same name as the artery. So if this is brachial artery, so what vein will you have on the side? You will have the brachial vein. So brachial vein are present on each side of the brachial artery. So you have two brachial veins. Okay. So what happens is this brachial artery has a nice amount of pulsation. So this pulsation of the brachial artery helps the venous return of this brachial vein. Okay. So pulsation of brachial artery helps venous return of what? Of brachial vein. So such veins which have such a structure that they are being able to do the venous return because of the pulsation of an artery, we call them as vena comitantes. So you should know that. Okay, what is the vena comitantes? So that's it about the venous system. It was easy. I hope you understood everything. So that's it. Thank you.